are such an asshole.
All right, so I'd like to read this guy's background. The problem is, as with many of you, you all are doing unique, interesting things. And if I did, they're like, oh yeah, that's that guy. It's kind of amazing. A population of 350 million people, and if there's just like 5 bits of data about you, like, oh yeah, I know Frank. He's over at this department. So I'm going to kind of anonymize a lot here. Hi, Aaron. I'm contacting you for career advice. Brief background. I'm a middle-aged guy. Happen to find myself in a full-time PhD economics program. I have not started on the dissertation yet because I don't fucking have a clue what topic will bring me the most ROI. I wonder if it's worth it to invest 3 more years of my life doing that. I have interesting work background you may like, and it is. It's very interesting. I wish I could talk about it, but we can't. You have a real degree, undergrad. I can see you have an undergrad in statistics. That's not gonna narrow anyone down in a economics PhD program. You work for small, large companies, some very obvious, some small. I'm at a point when I have to figure out what's the optimal way to go forward to maximize lifetime earnings. Finish the PhD and do something profitable with it, or drop out of the PhD and do more enjoyable and productive things right now. I have experience living in many countries and have multiple citizenship. I am more than open to remote work as long as it is financially justifiable, especially entrepreneurship and self-employment. Well, if you're doing entrepreneurship and self-employment, you don't need a PhD. You don't need education. I mean, you need skills, but you don't need education. What the fuck I want from you? To have a brainstorming conversation with you that explores my options, do some room risk and benefit analysis, come up on my own with optimal path forward with self-employment entrepreneurship highly pursued. Well, let's stop right here. A PhD, you might get contracted out as a consultant in the most simplest of forms of entrepreneurship, becoming a 1099er or a contractor. In the classical sense of entrepreneurship or self-employment, that a PhD is irrelevant to that. It's all about skills. What's your business idea? What's your product? Whether it's a service or a product. Because you have a lot of experience and you do have a statistics background and a master's degree. You have a master's in economics, I should say. All right, so you're with that educational background, you're kind of pigeonholed into consulting of some kind, which is fine. But I don't know, because I've not been a doctorate in my life. I don't know what grad school is like, but I think they want you to come in. Now, there are some economists out there like, yeah, okay, do your work at home. But most of it's academic work, most of it's government. Some, I'm sure they have like a favorable work from home policy. But if you're going to lecture and be in academia, or if you're going to work for the Fed, I think they kind of want you there, especially if you're working on sensitive data where it's like you got to be on a closed computer system. So it's not impossible for you to find work remotely, but I think you would find the same chances of either being a contractor and or getting remote work, whether you have a PhD or not. And it's largely to do with your work experience. So it'd be contacting recruiters and finding a remote work or a contract work. That would be your quickest way into self-employment. But if you wanted some kind of like project, I don't know what, again, even there, the PhD, I don't think that's going to help you. I really don't. PhD might help you like work within the economics industry as a contractor, but I wanted to open up a car factory. Well, I'd stop with your PhD right now. So then I had some questions. I said, well, what are your life goals? Kids, a yacht, what? Because I always want to know how much money you guys want. And then you write back, thanks for getting back to me, that a life goal is to settle into acquired profession, which will generate high hourly income, which could be self-employment income well into my 70s with no need for retirement. I tend to work until I drop dead, but I must enjoy my occupation. Well, good luck with that. That probably, it would help you to let go of whether you like your occupation. I mean, you can't hate it, but you're really pigeonholing yourself where if you want to like your occupation and you're already in the realm of academia, you got like a master's, and you're thinking about a PhD, dude, go teach. Go become a professor. Is that self-employment? No. You get summers off. I guess you can have whatever teach schedule you like. You could do that until you're dead, but it's not going to be self-employment. And it kind of, people have a different opinion about it, but let's think about this. Most people choose self-employment because working for somebody else sucks. But if everyone's job was enjoyable or tolerable, like let's say I worked in banking and it wasn't a bunch of like truly incompetent douchebags, I probably would have enjoyed my work and I wouldn't have a need to be self-employed. If you were to teach, be a professor, and in that process, there becomes consulting opportunities. You can become self-employed. I know a lot of my professors, they consult on the side a little bit here and there, and your PhD could get you into that. But what's wrong with teaching? I know it's not self-employment, but it's something you can enjoy. I love teaching. It was bullshit. Let's be honest. You're not real. That's not a real job. Okay. Let's just be honest. It's not a real job. Teaching is not doing, but it's fun. It's easy. It'd be intellectually rewarding, especially if you teach some upper classes or within your thesis or your subspecialty. And then after a while, it's businesses go to the universities and I need a specialist in this, and you could open up a consulting company. I think as I chew on this, I think that's kind of the path that seems pretty obvious to me, or the clearest. To living a lifestyle of freedom and location independence. All right, well, become an accountant, learn to code. The consulting, you could consult, you go teach, get your PhD, and you get some consulting gigs. You could be remote working, but you're gonna have to do a stint in academia or work for an institution or something like. In other words, you got to start working as an economist, even as a professor, and then set up a consulting thing on the side, and make sure that your main employer doesn't have a non-compete that allows you to do that. But yeah, if you want location independence, I would. Well, one, outside the PhD, have you tried to apply for jobs that are remote work with your master's? Like, why don't you do that? Why don't you? It's been years, decades since I've bothered, trying to find a job in the realm of finance and economics. But can you go and with your statistics background, are there jobs out there that are remote that you can do right now? You want to generate a high hourly income? I mean, how much money do you need? Is like 100,000 enough? Should be. You could, in other words, with your current education level right now, can you not get what you want? Location independence, possibly self-employment. I'd choose the location independence over self-employment because they're effectively the same thing, because you're not dealing with a dickhead boss in person all the time. I have family scattered over the globe. Aging mom, aging dad may require inputs into their caregiving needs, emotional, financial, possibly physical. So whatever the profession is, I must be able to work remotely while performing the occupation of that profession. Well, you may not get, just so you know, you may not get that. You don't control that. I don't control that. Maybe move your folks to where you are, like wherever the money goes. Like, hey, mom, dad, you got to come to where I am. Otherwise, I can't help you. This old person bullshit. You got to come and take care of me where I reside. I guess I'm not taking care of you. I guess you're fucked. How could you say that to your parents? Because I make other people respect my time too. People think, oh, don't you love your parents? Yes, I do. But no. I'm not the slave. Let's get this clear here. By the way, my parents have never asked me to take care of them. I must be able to work remotely while performing the occupation of that profession. Well, now this puts a time pressure on you. Yeah, because you're going to, what I fear, because it's not a mission critical educational background you have, is you're going to have to work somewhere physically for a while before you get remote work privileges. And I would give up on this self-employed. I mean, yeah, I take it if you can get it. But that's not the critical thing. You need location independence. Honestly, why really just start applying for jobs that are location independent, see if you can do it. Master's degree isn't necessarily bullshit. But if you can, when do your folks need care, do you estimate 3 years from now? Well, if you're getting your PhD, then you're not hunting down a job. So once again, we get to do both, the two-prong approach. You get to apply for jobs that are remote work. And something real simple you could do, contact the recruiter or somebody that specializes in economics, finances, actuary, statistics. I'm sure maybe you got some programming skills. Go talk to a recruiter that specializes in that, not fucking Kelly's Services or what was the dipshit one? Robert Half International. Holy fucking worthless. Oh, God, what a dumb waste of fucking space. But go find a recruiter and say, I need remote work. What can I get with this? See what they can drum up. Continue on with your PhD. But the second you get a job that pays enough and allows for remote work, man, I'd be willing to drop the PhD in half a second. And with your work background, maybe you have some networks, maybe you have some contacts. You also know the industries that you've worked in where you could, these jobs are remote work. I would also really start seriously questioning how much do you need to make, because the less you need to make, the more jobs might be open to you. 3, accumulating sufficient bankroll to play high stakes poker professionally or as a hobby or part-time. No. I know that's a dream. But your folks are going to obviously prioritize that first, including during the years of retirement. Okay. I mean, still so far, I don't see why you need a PhD. It would help. It's not going to hurt, but participating in a network of risk-taking, daring, and smart people, creating buddies from this network and having intellectual conversations with them occasionally. All right, that's an important one. That almost right there, that I've talked to people before, like after a while, a PhD is not necessarily for any kind of economic or practical reason. It's for intellectual stimulation. That would be a reason to go get your PhD. See, your PhD is going to help because of that reason. You're going to find it intellectually rewarding. You're going to have networks. PhD, more likely to get consulting gigs, self-employment, and remote in your case. I just think with what you got now, I'm not saying don't pursue it, but at least you're on a bridge. You can cast your line this way. You can cast your line that way. I'm like, cast one at least this way with your master's degree and see if you can pick up some kind of because who knows? You could get lucky. Also, you make $150,000. Oh, the hour with the power. Well, look at you. We need you do it. Oh, yeah. There you go. All of a sudden, you're working $150,000 a year, remote. You don't have to worry about the PhD. And you can always get your PhD later. But if nothing bites on that, and keep pursuing your PhD, and then 3 years time, and then you're going to have to probably teach, you're going to have to do some research, or maybe your buddies go to Silicon Valley and start something up that doesn't involve, something that's not straight. For once, it might be an actual straight venture they achieve in California. It won't be political. But that's important. Maintain good physical and mental health as long as, but you know what? I mean, given your very unique background, I would continue getting your PhD. Because I know your primary concern is money with your parents and the living and all that. But then technically your last 3 things, I know your high stakes poker. Why do you have to play high stakes poker? Can you play low stakes poker? Let's talk about minimalism here. Why do you need so much fucking money? You're an economist, do a real hard analysis of how much money you need. Go put together a budget. You know how to do it. I'm not going to go into it anymore. And then ask yourself, do you really need high stakes poker? Can you just have regular old poker? That one I put at the bottom of the list. But for your intellectual purposes and the fact it's not like a chance. It's not like, maybe you get some contracting and offers. No, once you get to the PhD level, especially in economics, there's opportunities to consult, to contract, but you just got to be there for 3 years. Maintain good physical and mental health as long as possible. Well, the PhD will help with the mental health and the good physical health. That's up to you. Yeah. So with all this, I definitely would continue on the PhD, but not first without applying for some jobs and seeing, um, yeah, because you might get lucky. Also, $200,000. Oh my God! What PhD? What? Oh, and then you can go play high stakes poker. Just completed listening to two of your audiobooks. The first is the Book of Numbers, and the second one is The Curse of the High IQ. My IQ is 124, which means I'm a top 6%. Z score of 1.6. I can perfectly identify the symptoms you discuss in The Curse of the High IQ and my own experiences, especially given my history of interacting with my superiors. Yeah, if you're working in normie, I'm sure not all the companies you work for were like top notch. Part of the reason to return the PhD in economics was gaining the social circle of equal or better intellectual capacity, which alleviates my frustration with daily idiocracy. Yeah, I'm almost. You see, you're the type who probably should be in academia, like legitimately so. I think you should continue on with the PhD. So toss you just see if you make the money. But yeah, I get it. I notice people want to talk to you when you introduce yourself as a researcher, but at this point, it is necessary to do a cost benefit analysis to whether continue. I have a few courses left this spring and fall, field exam. At that point, I'll be an ABD status and then a dissertation. This is a large opportunity cost during my prime years, but either I continue with the PhD or take a different direction. Well, see, you can't do a cost benefit analysis because you don't know what the cost is. You haven't tossed one line into water. What kind of job offers can you get right now with your master's? And that should fill in at least half the formula for you to like, oh, because if someone I give you like 90,000, you toss it, you're feeling, 350,000 plus bonus. Wow, well, then, but you need to know what you could get in the market right now. So I go poke around in the labor market, see what you can get, if anything at all. You don't hear back from anybody after a while, and you could keep going for your PhD while you toss a resume here or there. But if you don't hear anything from anybody, well, there's your answer. But I say long term, despite your short term and immediate financial needs with your folks and everything, up here, man, you're gonna have to go. I had a friend, the smartest person I ever knew, and she had like a doctorate in electrical engineering and physics, or no, computer engineering and electrical engineering, computer science. Like, she's just a genius. And yeah, she was not. She wasn't talking to people at the business school. And I could never see someone with that IQ tolerating normie world. I just couldn't. You just can't. This is a large opportunity cost during my prime earning years, but I either continue with the PhD or take it to a different direction, accounting, entrepreneurship. It'll still require dedicated time and mastery of the skills before. Where if I was just purely looking at this for money, I'd say accounting, get your CPA, blah, blah, blah. The same thing me and Chad talk about all the time. No, man, you probably PhD. I rarely say that because school's such a fucking pissing away of time. But in your case, not with those ancillary non-financial perspectives. And it's not like you couldn't go get your CPA anyway, or get an enrolled agent. I really enjoy listening to your description of how the high IQ people try new things all the time, but don't resort to alcohol and neither drugs. Good, that'll save you time. But I indeed seek novelty as an escape from boredom, which explains my chaotic life path from the professional career perspective. That makes total sense to me. That I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Throughout the course of my life, I've done the following. Here's why I can't tell. See, I'd like to tell people what you've done. It's incredibly impressive, but they're going to know exactly who you are. And especially if you get your PhD, if you just associate with the wrong political person, me, I don't want to. Yeah, no, it's an impressive resume. But yeah, that brain of yours needs to chew on something more than debits and credits. Yeah, and then you know a musical instrument. God, yeah, you're the world's most interesting man. I hope the information above was a formula. Yeah, man, your PhD. Look, if not now, let's say mom and dad really bite the dust, and you got to like get something really practical, and you just go become an actuary or something. You take all the tests. What I don't know what it would be. I would still forecast over the course of your life there's a PhD in your future because you're just going to need that group of people to interact with. So that's what I do. All right, we got any super chats? We got 5. Why now? Why? I wish I could unlock the knowledge of the super chats. Dre, $2. You missed a super chat. Oh, dang it. Okay. I'll go back and get it. Colin, $2. Short answer. No. Long answer. No. Yeah, but his case is different. I mean, I can't guarantee he's going to be happy with the choice, but it's I know the type. I was there. I was on the cusp of those people. Nonstop trade $2, but Cappy PhD equals get more girls that are 9s and 10s, bro. No, he didn't mention girls once. Nope. He's too smart. Too smart. Christoph Anon, $2. I think gouging out one eye is more cost effective. The poker, yeah. And then Ken Rose, 20 generous dollars. Thanks. You didn't type a 0, did you, Ken? Usually you do $2. You didn't type an extra 0, did you? But thank you very much. There's the $2. See, I know my clients. I know my audience. Got another one here. Nonstop trade $2. Cappy has all interesting clients, women. He is 6 feet tall. No, no. Hide your power level. Run silent, run deep. If I ever am going to go find a girl, my name is Chad Elkins, and I'm an accountant in Chicago. And my number is 312. Cappy, there's some girl calling me. No, it's going to be hiking. Maybe blowjobs in the desert, but it's going to be hiking and quiet. It'll be peace and quiet. All right, link below is a book called Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. For those of you who are trying to figure out what degree to get, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.